This is a Pele Media podcast.
Welcome back to Goonies Minute, everybody. This is the fan podcast where we chronicle and overanalyze and explore the movie Goonies minute by minute. I'm your host, Brady.
My name is Chris.
And today we're breaking down minute number 4. And we've got a lot of interesting stuff going on in this minute, including the introduction to one of cinema's greatest comedic performances of all time, I think. Or just one of the greatest performances, maybe. And that is Chunk.
Chunk, what a character. What a character.
Well, I tell you what, before we go meet Chunk, you want to get into the minute?
Let's do it.
In the previous minute, the high-speed chase between the police and the Fratellis continued as we began to meet each Goonie one by one. At 4 minutes, we see Data's invention working until a chain stops the barrel and Data is pulled towards the barrel. At 4 minutes and 5 seconds, Data falls into the barrel, barely missing being hit by the Fratellis' car. At 4 minutes and 9 seconds, we meet Chunk at an arcade. He spots the chase outside the window and runs to it. As he watches the chase in excitement, he smears his pizza all over the window and smashes his cup, causing the drink to spill all over himself. At 4 minutes and 20 seconds, the Fratellis narrowly miss crashing into a truck but manage to dodge the cops who are now stuck. At 4 minutes and 25 seconds, the Fratellis pull up to a beach. Ma Fratelli tells Jake and Francis to trust in their old mother as she throws the car into four-wheel drive. At 4 minutes and 39 seconds, the Fratellis' ORV rushes down the beach and right into the middle of an ORV derby. The man in the tower throws the flag as all of the ORVs take off in a race. At 4 minutes and 50 seconds, the Fratellis' ORV disappears into the crowd of other ORVs. And at 4 minutes and 59 seconds, the Fratellis have made their escape. And thus ends minute number 4 of the Goonies.
And one thing I want to say, at the end of minute 3, we go from Data, where he uses the suction arrow to drag. He wants to drag the barrel over to him.
Yeah.
But what happens, he ends up getting drug into the barrel and falls in the barrel, and the chase basically almost hits him.
Yeah, it really
literally
does.
almost runs him over. And that's one of the things that I had forgotten about and didn't really pay much attention to. But when rewatching the movie again and then seeing the minute again, you notice that it almost runs him over.
Almost takes him out, especially if it had come by just a second before and it would have gotten the string and then probably pulled the cannon. Whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so after he falls in the barrel, which one of the things also with Data, we talked about him with all of his little contraptions, is for everyone that does something great, you can tell he's a kid and he hasn't perfected it, and he'll have something that is kind of screwy and comedic.
Yeah, and eventually, the puncher, I can't remember.
Punches himself.
Yeah, punches himself, and
himself.
Then later it does end up working. But
so after Data falls into the bucket, the barrel of water, the next thing we see is the chase going by the arcade.
That's right.
And Chunk's playing on that video game, and then he goes to the window to see the
cool
chase.
Police chase. That is actually, the name of that place is the Lower Columbia Bowl, and it is at 826 Marine Drive in Astoria, and it is still open to this day. And let's see, the arcade game that he's playing is Cliffhanger, and I believe it's on an insert more coins to continue screen, which is implying that Chunk has been playing somehow with a slice of pizza in one hand and his milk in the other, strawberry milk or whatever it was in the other. So that's talent. Man, what a disgusting combo.
Yeah, it is, and I wonder how much Pepsi paid for their paid product placement in this movie.
It's all over the place.
Because you see Pepsi throughout, but he's not drinking Pepsi.
Yeah,
it's that strawberry milkshake.
Yeah, it's like a watered down milkshake or something. It's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
To know that he's
he
mixing
slapped
that.
it on the glass. I mean, what a blob little nasty little fat kid. Which but it's classic.
It's classic. And I'll tell you what, nasty little fat kid. He ain't no more. Jeff Cohen, the actor, is
probably the best looking one of any of them now.
That's true. He's an entertainment lawyer now.
Yeah, sharp-looking dude. Yeah, very successful.
Very successful,
lawyer.
Yeah. But let's see. Next up, we cut to Cannon Beach, and that is where the Fratellis are now on the run. They're now on the beach, and Cannon Beach is in a small town in Oregon. It's a very popular tourist destination with just really beautiful landscape. And so Cannon Beach has doubled for a lot of different places in different movies. It's in the Goonies, it's in the Twilight films, and it actually doubled for Australia in Point Break, at the end of Point Break.
So one of the things about when the chase goes to the beach, maybe this is me reading too much into it, but it's also another foreshadowing is, this is a chase, there's a rally going on, but this is where the movie's going to end up.
That's true.
It's going to end up on the beach. So to me, it's another little foreshadowing. And it's also, being that it's a chase, it's, you almost think that, and I didn't mention it before, but, we're going to have a chase to the treasure.
Yeah.
And here's another chase. It's more fits the theme of the movie. Now, the rally going on, I don't even know, what the significance of it's kind of
why
like
is it on a beach?
It's just stuff going on the beach, and they interject the chase into it.
What's cool is that, and I mentioned this a few episodes ago. How the Fratellis get away is that their car files right into the other trucks that it kind of resembles, which is very reminiscent of, well, I guess The Dark Knight would have been reminiscent of the Goonies in the sense that, how does the Joker get away from that bank heist in the beginning? His car, that is, the school bus, is identical to the other cars, and it slips right on into him and gets out of there. So this whole opening, with them breaking him out of jail and everything, just feels like that opening to that Dark Knight, to me anyway.
The other thing that's interesting is right before they go on the beach, Mama Fratelli says, "Trust me," because she's like, because they're like, "What's next?" And she says, "Trust me," and that's when she takes it onto the beach.
Yeah, which just shows like how experienced this woman is in her life of crime. She's used to running a four-wheel car on a beach.
She's used to
what
escape.
Kind of experience it? Yeah, she's used to escape.
The best criminals are very savvy, and they can take any situation and find a way to get out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she's no exception.
Which is really interesting. Also, something, going back to the arcade scene, this is a movie that the word S-H-I-T or bull S-H-I-T is used 19 times.
What?
And that is the first time that we hear it, is when Chunk says it.
Jeez.
When he's watching the chase.
And this film is a PG film.
It's PG, but you hear, I think you hear it a couple times. And then another interesting thing is Data. He promised, they knew that it was going to be said in the movie. Mm-hmm. He promised his mom that he would not say it in the movie. So he says S-H-I-T later in the movie. He says, he literally spells it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he will not say it.
That's funny.
Because it was a promise that he had made his mom.
Yeah, that's cute.
Which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, that just, I'm not saying that makes the movie any more like a better movie at all, but again, like we've made this point countless times, it gives a film that kind of edge that a film these days wouldn't have. It would be spoon feeding its audience, its children, its child audience. And there's something about a movie back in the day that would I don't want to say take that risk, but have that edge and just treat the younger viewer audience like it is an adult audience.
To me, there's nothing more empowering than to give a kid, especially that age, adult-like qualities or adult-like responsibilities.
Yeah, but okay. And how would you have been talking when you were that age? Just like that.
I would talk in the same way. And adult was around, I'd be kind of
exactly.
But think about back. I know back when I was a kid, that age, and I was around adults that I didn't know. There was always a little bit of trepidation, a little bit of fear, a little bit of uneasiness. Maybe that's because I was I was only child, a little bit shy or whatever. But whenever I was around a bunch of new adults, it was like they were the authority figures. They were perceived older, wiser, better than me. That was my perception. So, but if there was ever an adult that gave me, treated me as equal, if there was ever an adult that allowed me to have the authority to do something that only adults would do, to make decisions that adults would make, I remember how empowered that would make me feel. Yeah. And it's one thing that I always do at this age whenever I'm around somebody that age is try to treat them, as an equal. And that's one thing that this movie does. It empowers kids. Yeah. It empowers these guys to solve the adult problem, which is basically the theme of the movie. They solve the adults' problem. These kids should not have been the ones having to save their adults, and they're the ones that do it.
And what's so interesting, this isn't just a matter of getting themselves out of harmful situations and everything. They're saving the biggest issue at hand here, and that is the foreclosure.
That's right.
That's what you're saying.
And it's empowering for kids if you really think about it. What this does, it would make a kid feel good about themselves, if anything.
If anything. And, I would hope that like a parent or adult viewer or whatever would be able to look past, the, I guess, bad language that
and it's not
true.
much.
It is not.
But it's
a whole
reality.
lot. It's reality, and it doesn't overwhelm. Like you said, it said 19 times. I didn't know that. I can't even think of it.
That's called digging deep.
There you go. You done your homework.
So, Brady, that's pretty much all I have. There's not a ton going on here. That's why we kind of wanted to talk about, what this meant for the kids and how important it was. But that's all I have.
Yeah, me too. So let's regroup here tomorrow for minute number 5. And until then, I am Brady.
I'm Chris.
And we're here to remind you that Goonies never say die. Goonies Minute is a fan-supported podcast. If you like the show, then leave us a review on iTunes. You can find us at GooniesMinute.com, Facebook.com/GooniesMinute, Twitter.com/GooniesMinute, and at Instagram @GooniesMinute. You can contact us at GooniesMinute@gmail.com. You've been listening to a Pele Media podcast. For premium content and exclusive podcasts, visit us at patreon.com/PeleMedia. Check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/PeleMedia and follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/PeleMedia.